the owner of, or one of the early founders of WhatsApp, his yacht was just in Charleston before I left.
Oh yeah.
So they're doing pretty good on the revenue front for
Ah,
him to have a yacht that big.
yeah, it's a huge business.
If you're looking for business mentorship, I have a place where you can get feedback on your unique personal development and business growth challenges. Over the last year, I've brought together a group of impact driven thought leaders where we meet every single day to discuss psychology, communication, mindset, and business case studies. We have people who have made millions of dollars, lost millions of dollars, Harvard MBAs, and new entrepreneurs like you and I. Entrepreneurship can be lonely, so if you're looking for a support system, please follow the link in the description below for some more information. Let's get started. Tell me about yourself. What's your business?
Uh, I have a lot of businesses, but I started basically two businesses at the same time. We started a restaurant with our family 15 years ago, and at the same time, I was building what something that is very similar to what you know Yelp. It's called Degusta.
Mhm.
It's basically the most popular restaurant review and reservations site on Panama. So we tried to expand the technology or the company to other countries, but at that time we didn't know anything about marketing. So we learned the hard way what this knowledge of marketing and the importance of marketing. My competition knew a lot of marketing, and they raised like 20 million. We raised 250K. So they crush us internationally. We stay here in Panama, and later on, I have founded several businesses. I founded a private security company, security guards, but I put technology on them. So we grew very fast. That was 2016. So all the security guards, or basically the industry, was doing the same. And I saw an opportunity with a partner that knew a lot about the industry. So put some very, very basic technology actually, but it was for the clients was like, this is awesome. So they changed for the agency, but that business is not very attractive. So I sold most of my participation there. Uh, in after the pandemia, we had like a very small competitor here because the Gusta is like a review and reservation site, but we have a very bad like software for reservation. And these guys, they did have a very good technology. So in the pandemia, they just broke. So we bought that technology, and that's very interesting because we came from the B2C, and now we're in B2B. And the Gusta, I really like that product. Is like a son for me, but after so much time, you kind of get bored sometimes, especially if there's not so much room for innovation. And Degusta was getting to that point that there's not too much innovation we can do about restaurant guide, you know. So we decided to, or I decided, because Degusta is still in the market and it's still the most popular restaurant site in Panama. But I decided to focus my energy on Reservy, which is this B2B, very good platforms for restaurant management. And we're competing with OpenTable in Mexico, and we're already in like 20 countries in Latin America. So like it has like this international scope that we wanted to build Degusta in the first place. So right now I'm building something else. It's like an AI host for restaurants, because in Latin America there's a lot of WhatsApp usage for reservations. If you have been to restaurants, if you want to order something or make a reservations, the main channel here and most of Latin America is WhatsApp. So my main competitor in Reservy actually is WhatsApp. It's not like other platforms.
Wow.
So we're
That's
if
a monster to go up against.
yeah, so it's very difficult to change people behavior. So if I cannot change it, well, I'm gonna join it, you know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do our conversational AI to help them to make reservations because it's very exhausting for them to answer everyday chats from thousands of people every month, you know.
Yeah.
So they're very tired of doing it manually. Sundays, in the mornings, people start chatting 7 a.m. to do our reservations, and most of these chats in early in the morning, they don't get any answer, you know. So we're trying to solve that problem right now.
It's a lot of wasted labor.
Yeah, yeah.
The owner of, or one of the early founders of WhatsApp, his yacht was just in Charleston before I left.
Oh yeah,
So they're doing pretty good on the revenue front
Ah.
for him to have a yacht that big.
yeah. It's a huge business.
How do you deal with competition? Like, what is your strategy to get ahead of competition? I've heard you say if you can't beat them, join them. That's one is like acquisition or merger. But what if it's a more combative front where you have to beat them out? How do you position yourself ahead of them and get ahead?
With the I want to talk about especially with the Reservy, which is my main focus right now. And what we have done there is like I don't think restaurant owners see much difference on the software per se. It's like OpenTable have a software, we have a software, and there's not too much room to innovate on the management side of the software. So you have your floor plan, your reservation here, but we have when remember I talk about marketing, you know. So in Degusta, once we understood the importance of marketing, we study marketing like crazy. It's like we spent 2 years perfectioning and learning a lot, and we took a lot of like courses, but for app and how do you grow and how do you grow a company, but for the marketing inside the app, what kind of strategies you can do. So what business owners or especially restaurants owners is like they don't have time to market themselves. Usually they hire an agency, but their budget is very limited. Their agency usually are not great. So it's way more easy to make a customer come back that always try to bring new customers. So it's also very cheap. So what we have built in Reservy is like all these marketing features that help restaurants to bring people back. So we're always checking what the competition are doing, but we're basically the only ones that are focusing on this marketing. And basically these kind of features is what we're that are helping us grow basically, because nobody's like everyone is focusing on management, the basically the reservation management system, but we're like, okay, let help restaurant bring these people that already came back, and it's very simple. It's like ask the customer for their birthday once they come, or behavioral. It's like very like
think about excuses to stay in touch with them.
Think about the strategies of e-commerce. Like I miss you, add to cart but never bought. The same with the reservation. I did a reservation but then I cancel it. Like, hey, remember you
like remarketing on abandoned cart.
Exactly. So very basic, like for e-commerce, but nobody's doing it for reservations. So basically, that's our like key point, and we're doing it right now for email, but nobody's reading the email. At least in Latin America, I know in US it's different, but people are reading WhatsApp here. So we're integrating with WhatsApp. So and it's working. It started like a hypothesis, you know, like I have this hypothesis that if it works for e-commerce, if it worked for Degusta, it should work for a restaurant to make this remarketing based on behavior and data that the customer is giving you.
Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I think it's at least in Panama, if you ask a Panamanian, probably 80% of them are gonna tell you like my goal is to be a entrepreneur or have my own business. I think it's very like in the mindset of most of the people here. But there's a difference between thinking it and doing it. I had an opportunity and I took it. It was a huge risk. And it's a huge risk 15 years after, every time I do a new business or, this is very cyclical. And I think in my head was, I want to do an entrepreneur, but, I had an opportunity. None of my business are actually my idea. The new one, which is called Whoopee, this is actually the first idea I have. All the other ideas was my other brother with the other restaurant. So, but I'm very good like seeing problems. So once I got the first idea to do Degusta, actually was my brother was living in Argentina and saw something, a restaurant guy there. It's like, hey, do you think we can do that in Panama? And I had an experience here that I wanted to try something new, but I couldn't find it. That was 2010. So no iPhones, BlackBerry, internet. There was not too much blogging or something like that. So I took the risk and I just built that with any knowledge on developing apps or platforms or anything.
So I've always been curious on the strategy of apps like this that require buy-in to be successful, right? Like it's not like you can be successful with just having one restaurant on your platform, right?
Yeah, it's in our industry, it's a chicken and egg problem. It's very hard. It's very hard to start. Actually, what does Degusta is similar to Yelp. We include all the restaurants for free in the platform. So it's not that we have to affiliate them to be in the platform.
So you started databasing them.
Yeah, I took the car and I drove every street in Panama finding restaurants. So
Wow.
that's the way we started. And actually, I didn't like do an all in at the beginning. It's like I kept I used to work as a broker, investment broker. So I kept my job, and at night and the weekends I worked Degusta for the first 2 years. Then we got some traction, but it was very organic. Restaurants believe in the projects. Like, okay, my pitch was like, if you ask any customer how is everything, the usual answer is everything's okay, because nobody wants the conflict. But
Yeah.
usually, sometimes it's not okay. And this is a very good way to understand what is okay, to keep doing that. And if it's not okay, change it. So restaurants believe in that pitch, and they started adopting it, promoting it. So here we grew by word of mouth, basically. But in other countries or bigger countries was way more difficult, and we didn't know how to market, and you need a lot of dollars to market this kind of marketplace. So we didn't understand that equation at the beginning.
You said that you guys did a lot of research on marketing. What were the biggest takeaways that you learned from that research and from those courses you guys were taking?
We took a course called Reforge. At that time, it was very expensive. Now you can get it like for $100 a month.
Like, shit, I should have waited.
No, but it was like marketing as a science. It's like read the numbers, what kind of numbers or what kind of goals we needed to impact. Actually, one of the biggest impacts I got when we were basically broke and we started growing very fast. I I'm a professor and I do some teaching as not a university, at a private teaching. Okay, in on this is investment thing. So I was with a student and I asked her like, "Do you use Degusta?" Like, yes, of course. And I asked her, it's like, "Do you do reservations?" Like, no, I never. I look up the phone, which was hidden in the middle of the scrolling, and I called the restaurant, and and the reservation button was there all the time,
Hmm.
so people didn't see it. So we changed the layout, and immediately it started like upticking. It upticked like 10% the next month. It's like, okay, let's do
Wow.
it on the website. Okay, the same. So let's hide the phone number under like calling bottom, another 10%. So sometimes small things can have huge impact on these kind of platforms. A good call to action, different color. Uh,
Just
so
A/B testing everything.
yeah, kind of. Yeah. But hearing the customer basically is one of the most important things that you can do as an entrepreneur. Just listen. You have one mouth, 2 ears.
For a reason.
Exactly.
What's the biggest challenge that you've encountered to date as an entrepreneur?
In Latin America, the most difficult is people. Finding good talent is very tough.
Why do you think that is?
Education. Education. People are not well educated. So in Panama, it's very hard. It's very hard to find good people. So, for example, we're switching to Colombia right now. Most of my new hires are in Colombia. Nothing against Panamanians, because I love to have my Panamanian team. Most of my team in Degusta are Panamanians, but we needed to train them a lot of years to get them where they are now. But if you want to scale, you can have juniors, you need people with experience. And I think that phase of hiring juniors, it was okay when you were starting, but right now I want to hire people here. To give you an example, the other day I put a LinkedIn to hire a community manager. uh, I had the post on LinkedIn paid for 1 week. I got 90 CVs. All right. From the 90, I selected 11. I sent them an email with a test. Before interviewing, we have like a system to hire people. And before any interview, we send them a test to see if they are really interested in working with us. You will do the test. We only receive one test. I did the same with Colombia. In 24 hours, I received 450 CVs. We send them 60 tests. We receive 40 tests.
Oh,
So, and with a very good quality. So here we have very talented people, but if you compare it with the Colombia, the, the education, you can see the education system has done a way better job than here.
you said you have a system for hiring. What does that system look like?
Well, basically, we put the announcement on LinkedIn. Usually, we try to tell people to look like a cool company. It's like yeah, because if you want to hire good talent,
Yeah.
we tell them like what's our mission, who we are as entrepreneurs, and basically what they have to do. The rest is basically the same, but the main part is our mission and who we are, okay, and our values basically. Then we review all the CVs, and usually I don't read them. I just focus on a structure. It's like, okay, you can see right now I see a good structure. and I don't need to read them to know that that person is very competent. So from the ones I like the structure of their CV, we do an Excel with their information and send them an email. In this case, since we're a startup and our budget is limited, usually we ask them a couple of questions. But for us in this kind of stage, one of the main questions is how much do you wanna what's your aspiration for a salary? Okay, so usually they're on the range. So if you're not on the range, we're not gonna be able to hire, especially for developers. Sometimes we got like 10 years developers, we can pay them. Okay, so we have to go through a 4 or 5 years experience range. So once we do that, of course, not everybody responds. So usually like 80-90% response. So then it doesn't matter if you're a developer or designer or any job, you must do something for us, a test. If you're a salesperson, film yourself, send and tell me how you sell whatever you want. For this community manager position, it's like, send me a video of the top 3 things of whatever you like, because I don't want them to think that I'm gonna use your video, your design for my advantage. So do whatever design or video or whatever you like.
Yeah.
Okay. So then my job is like, check this video, and if they're good, I'm gonna interview these people. But my funnel is like from 400 goes to 5-6 interview max. Usually we don't do more than 6, but that saves a lot of time.
Have you always lived in Panama?
No, I was born in Chile.
You were born in Chile?
Yeah, but I got here at 12, so I'm Panamanian.
So where do you think the biggest opportunities lie in Panama?
In Panama, I think there's a huge gap in tourism, for example. I think there's a lot of opportunities in tourism. If you go other countries, you see very sophisticated ways of managed tourism. If you go to Mexico, for example, they're very organized around tourism. I think there's huge opportunity to develop tourism here. If you go to Costa Rica, which are selling like they have all these jungles and all these places, and you came here, it's like, no way, this is way better. But they have sold the world that they have this incredible place. But once you're here in Panama, we have the same, even better infrastructure. You have the city, which is great. They don't have the city. And we have all the same things. But they have sell very good Costa Rica.
Yeah, for sure. And I've asked this question to each guest that we've had on over the past 2 days, what the opportunities are in Panama. And your business is where I see the biggest opportunity, which is the digital consolidation of businesses. Because as someone that is from the US, for instance, when I came here, I wanted to find a yoga class.
Yeah.
So in the US, if I'm traveling for work, if I travel down to Miami and I want to find a yoga class, I am going to find 100 businesses within a 3-mile radius that offer that service. But what I've found when I come to Panama is the digital real estate is wide open.
Yeah.
Like, you search things on the internet and you don't get the answers that you want, which is not a problem in the US. So I think that there's a massive opportunity here in Panama and probably a lot of emerging markets where databasing those services, if you can be an authority or a source of that traffic, that databases those services that are offered in a location. And it doesn't have to be all services. If you, for instance, picked yoga and databased those yoga businesses and become that stream, there's some sort of affiliate brokerage model that you can do that is like low capital.
I think that the market is very small. This is one of the disadvantage of Panama. There's only 4 million people. And if you get into how many people can have access to those services, the market is very slow. Basically, it's like 5 miles around here. That's it. So Degusta is doing that for restaurants because this is something you do very often. The thing is, once you get the yoga class,
Your market's
there's
even small.
no, the lifetime value it's done. You find it, you make a broker or fee, and that's it. No lifetime value.
Because they're just going to go jump over
Yeah,
and go to the
exactly,
client.
exactly. And this is very Latin. That's why we don't have like these plumbers or electricians kind of apps here because you don't have lifetime value. You get the good plumber and you ask them for their phone.
Right.
And that's it. And most of the people that had that they saw that opportunity, they didn't understand lifetime value, for example, because they're not in the industry. I bet someday someone will figure it out how to bypass and not get the plumber to have that problem. And the other problem is that the plumber once they have one phone number and the next day they have another. So it's very like
Yeah.
there's a lot of problems in this kind of market for that.
That's super interesting. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that's super crazy. I didn't even think of that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is like so for instance, like I have realized I see just like the digital space being a big opportunity here because we ran ads for one of our developments that we're doing in the Azuero Peninsula,
Yeah.
and my cost per
Lead.
was so much lower
Yeah,
here.
yeah. It's like $2, $3.
And it seems like people aren't running those ads, or they're not
I
like,
don't know why it's. I think it's way less competition. People maybe or businesses probably they don't understand how many leads they can get with these ads, and they see it as expensive. And that's one of the reasons I have grown some of these companies because
Not to give away the
when
secret
I
sauce.
started like the private security company, no one was doing ads. So I was the only one, maybe another one, but very bad ad. So I built a good web page with a good ad, and it was Google. People were looking for security guards. So we grew from 0 to 200 people in like a year and a half or something like that.
well,
Yeah.
something else that I've noticed just being here for a short amount of time that's interesting, that's different from the US, is that whereas the US may pay a premium for convenience, here it's like all price driven. So someone would rather take the responsibility on and do more work themselves
Yeah.
to save money.
Yeah. That's totally true. And that affects a lot of businesses. Yeah, it's very different. US, it has with the people don't earn as much as the US here.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're very price sensitive. If you crash your car and you can do it yourself or have a very low budget like mechanic, you're gonna hire that guy. So yeah, these are and Panama is, if you compare it with other countries like Colombia is totally price driven. You can have two things. It happens. We don't have too many clients in Colombia, for example, with our platforms in Reservy, for example. Our platform is way better than the other one, but sometimes $5. That's it. They're gonna choose the cheap one.
So we've talked a lot about the limitations within Panama in business. What do you think are the attributes that make Panama a good place for business, to do business?
Well, I think it's a very if you're in tech, for example, it's a very good place to test because it's a small market.
Interesting.
If you're gonna make some mistakes, it's gonna stay here, you know. So you can test the market pretty easy and fast. Um, the bad thing is that's very small market. So usually, but that, one of the good things about Panama as an entrepreneur is that usually people are always thinking abroad. So if you're gonna meet people, uh, they're always thinking like, okay, I'm gonna this here, but if it works, I'm gonna sell it in other places. So that's why you have so many like good entrepreneurs here because they're selling their products outside the country.
As a veteran entrepreneur, what is the most common flaw you see in new entrepreneurs that's holding them back from being successful?
I call it them to do the work, basic order. I think in English, it would say like the homework, basically. And when I met entrepreneurs, one of the main things I ask is like, okay, who else is doing something like you are doing? It's very uncommon that you are inventing the wheel. Uh, Always someone thought about your idea before and try to build it. So what I tell them is like, if it doesn't exist, there are two probabilities. Or the idea is so good, nobody has thought about it, or it's so bad that already people try it and failed. So it's very hard that in this world today, you're going to find someone that hasn't thought about the idea you're trying to build.
Yeah.
It's very hard. So basically, they don't do research enough. When I built Degusta, I spent 4 months just doing research and thinking about how it could be. I saw probably all the review on restaurant guides around the world, Asia, Africa, Europe, US, and I got something from all of them and built Degusta, which was like I thought was good for the Latin American market. But people aren't doing the like research. It's like I have an idea, I'm gonna execute it. So people get in love with the idea sometimes.
We call it drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, yeah, and that happens in every market. But what fails people here is doing their homework. They don't do research enough about what they're trying to build.
And it can be easy to kind of, like I say, drinking the Kool-Aid, it can be easy to be seduced by your own idea and
Yeah.
make the justifications within your own head
Yeah.
that it's going to work and ignore the red flags. And I think that's why it's super important to surround yourself with like a board of advisors to be able to tell you, you know, don't go down this path and you're wasting your time.
Yeah. Totally agree. Like when you're young, you think you know better, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's
Happens
tough.
to everyone, me included.
It's like you need to have the ego, you know, to have the confidence,
Yeah,
but also you need to suppress the ego or you're
Yeah,
going to run into a
And usually we learn the bad way, no?
yeah.
Making huge mistakes that cost a lot of money. But
Do you think anyone can be an entrepreneur?
yeah, I don't think you need a skill set or of course you need some skill set, you know, but if you have the passion, the energy and the focus, and of course you need to understand very important the problems. I think anyone can do it. It's not rocket science. If you talk with any entrepreneur, it's not going to be more intelligent than you. That's something else that people don't understand. Anyone is not like super more intelligent than you.
It's just who has the tougher mindset.
Exactly. It's like very common people with the mindset of let's do it. And I have failed many times, but I never let one of my business get broke, for example. I'm gonna find a way to make it work, and we usually do turn things around.
Through all the ups and downs that you've had throughout your entrepreneurial journey, what is the single most important thing that you have learned that you would give to one of your predecessors or mentorees as like a single piece of advice that you would give them?
To whom?
A new entrepreneur getting started.
Um, that's a good question. I never thought about that. Um, you should, if I have to choose one, just listen. Just listen. The market is gonna tell you. Your client is gonna tell you. But people don't want to listen. If you ask the right questions, people are gonna tell you if it's good or bad. But people get in love with the idea and the things that are. But you cannot listen to everyone. For example, we have this restaurant, and for 15 years, people they tell us to put pasta on it. But it's a pizzeria. It's not an Italian restaurant. We do have pasta, 3 plates now, but people wanted pasta. It was a pizzeria. They didn't understand our business. So sometimes people get it, some people they don't get it. But if you got a good concept, but we have learned to listen. Like, okay, there was a couple of pizza that people didn't like it. It was acquired taste. It wasn't like a bad pizza. It was like acquired taste. People didn't like it. We lose it. We probably will lose some customers when people were trying that. And actually, we saw a couple of reviews on Degusta, people complaining about the pizza. It was not good. So we decided to take it out. So I don't think it's too hard. It's like build something, ask people what they think about it, modify if it makes sense. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's really important advice. Like a lot of people spend so much capital developing a product before they take it to the market where, I think it's a lot more valuable to go out to that marketplace first and say, like, what is the need? What is the problem? What does the marketplace want to see? And then developing that, reverse engineering it from that
Yeah,
problem.
totally agree.
From that
For
need.
example, Whoopee, we have been working on it 2 months now. We're a very small team, and as soon as I have the AI agent working, I'm gonna start testing it. See if it makes sense, if it works, trying out, asking some people for feedback. And I'm not trying to build the perfect product right now. And every time we try to build the perfect product, usually it wasn't perfect, but because people didn't want that. So our mindset now is like, let's make it simple, very basic, and learn from what people are telling us and improve.
You said earlier that you enjoy mentoring.
Yeah, I love it.
So there's a lot of people out there that and it's a common theme that we see within our audience is people are looking for mentorship. But I'm curious to hear from your perspective, what are the qualities that a person demonstrates that tells you this is a good person that's worth mentoring? What about someone makes you want to mentor them?
I like to mentor people that they really wanna get the feedback. The same as when I'm a teacher, when I teach because the bank paid the guy to get my course and they're not interested actually in learning, I get bored. I don't like to do that kind of classes. The same as mentoring. I like to do mentoring people that are interested in learning and changing the things that I'm showing you. And as a mentor, usually I never tell you what to do. I just show you the path. And it's like, if you have a pricing problem, I'm not going to tell you what should be your pricing. I'm going to send you an article and you read that and tell me what is the problem you're having. But if I send you an article and you never give me feedback, you're not interested in learning and changing. And probably your business is gonna fail.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Final question, what is your definition of success?
I think I'm trying to find the right word, but freedom, basically. Freedom to do what you want to do. If you want to leave early, you can do it. If you want to go traveling and go to a sports game that you like, you can do it. I think freedom is the perfect word for me, at least.
How do you obtain that freedom as an entrepreneur? A lot of entrepreneurs have a big difficulty removing themselves from that business. What's required to get that freedom as an entrepreneur?
Don't get me wrong, I don't have freedom right now. But sometimes I do, you know. It's like I can have the freedom, but it
Comes at an
it's-
expense.
no, actually, it costs. It's difficult for me to have like that liberty and go early to my house, and I'm always like trying to learn something or read the next article, or it's hard for me to have this freedom. But I aspire to have it soon. I'm trying to make a balance, and I've been trying to do that. But what was the question? I forgot.
What is your definition of success?
Yeah, freedom, basically.
Yeah, the as entrepreneurs, a lot of us can be guilty of getting stuck on that hamster wheel where we have this like goal of being satisfied in the now, but when we get to that now, we want the next.
Well, that's
Check.
what happened with me, with Degusta. Probably, it wasn't a challenge anymore.
Yeah.
We grew it enough, and for some reason, it was no more a challenge. And I really like challenges to make things grow from zero to whatever. Have the best product in the market. I'm very passionate about being the best in the market. I really like that. Even if I'm not the biggest one, you know, but having the best products is something that motivates me every day. Giving the best customer support, having the best products. I really like to have that.
Well, that's a very important value to have a good company and a successful company. So
Yeah.
it's great that you prioritize that. If people are interested in your services or wanted to reach out to you, where can they find you or connect with you?
They can send me an email, cristobal@reservi.com, or send me a WhatsApp.
You don't have to put your number up. You don't want to do that, trust
No,
me.
I can. All right.
Trust me.
They can send me an email. I love to mentor people. I really do.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's been very interesting and inspiring.
Thank you for the invite.